Fox News. Breaking news.
Well, the videos are dropping, and there's a lot of them, and they're fiery. Hillary Clinton just lost it under oath during a House Oversight Committee deposition. The former Secretary of State was confronted about a mysterious folder on Anthony Weiner's laptop allegedly labeled life insurance, a file that sources say made hardened NYPD investigators physically vomit when they viewed its contents. When pressed on whether Jeffrey Epstein was running a blackmail operation targeting America's most powerful people, Clinton's response will chill you to the bone. What is she hiding? What did investigators really find, and why did the room suddenly go off the record the moment these questions were asked? Now, this isn't just another political scandal, folks. This is about whether the most powerful people in this country have been compromised by foreign intelligence operations and criminal networks for decades. Think about what this means for you. Every policy decision, every trade deal, every military deployment potentially influenced by blackmail and corruption at the highest levels. Your tax dollars, your children's futures, your national security, all potentially sold out by an elite class that answers to no one. The Epstein network didn't just traffic victims. According to testimony, it may have been gathering intelligence on American leaders for hostile foreign powers, Russia, Israel, Iran. These names came up in the deposition. If our leaders have been compromised, then the America First agenda President Trump is fighting for faces enemies not just in Congress, but hidden in the shadows of our own government. The swamp isn't just corrupt, it may be actively working against you. And speaking of national security threats that the mainstream media refuses to cover, there is a developing story out of Washington that demands your attention right now. We're tracking a breaking situation that could reshape America's security posture entirely. As Iran continues to destabilize in the Middle East, the federal government just made a move that you need to know about. And here's the cold, hard truth. Our nuclear submarines, our warheads, our next-generation power grid, all of it depends on uranium, and we import almost every single pound of it from foreign nations. This is not just about energy independence, my friends. This is about survival. A nation that cannot power its own military does not control its own destiny, and that's why we're watching atomic minerals trading under ticker symbols ATOM on the TSXV venture and ATMMF on the OTCQB. As now America moves to secure domestic uranium supply chains, companies positioned in the space could see significant attention. Do your own research and take a look at the full briefing that's been prepared for you, linked below. But understand this. The uranium story is a national security story, and it's unfolding right now. Let's get back to Hillary Clinton's meltdown, because what happened next in that deposition room is explosive. Yes, here's what the mainstream media is desperately trying to bury. During the same round of depositions, Bill Clinton reportedly testified under oath that President Donald Trump did absolutely nothing improper related to Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. Let that sink in. After years of the fake news media trying to tie our president to Epstein, and Bill Clinton himself cleared Trump's name under penalty of perjury. But did you see that headline anywhere? Of course not. Because this was never about justice. It was always about protecting the Clintons. And here's the moment Hillary Clinton loses her mind when asked if she's aware of a specific file on Anthony Weiner's laptop titled Life Insurance with the term Frazzledrip. Hillary Clinton doesn't answer the question, and then they suddenly go off the record.
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled insurance, life insurance, with a zip file titled Frazzled?
This is way outside the scope.
Ruling.
This is way
within the
outside the
scope.
scope.
Is this within the scope, Mr. Chairman?
If the chairman rules that it's not within the scope,
Mr. Chairman, based on what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
We can go off the record for a moment.
Mr. Chairman, is this within the scope?
We'll go off
the record and consult.
Off the record. There they go. The minute they bring up the life insurance, the term Frazzledrip, they go off the record. Now, the explosive moment during the deposition reveals her visible panic when confronted with specific evidence, but the real story is how this fits into a larger pattern of behavior under pressure. Turning point, Zong file here on X, titled Turning Point Charlie Kirk, she hates you all. Hillary Clinton's losing control declaration of former Secret Service agents, tearful accusation, decades-long scandalous black hole. October 6, 2024, in the CNN studio, Hillary Clinton sat there with her signature intellectual sneer. Look at this. Here's what Dan Bongino posted. I worked with Hillary Clinton. She was evil. The stories agents around her have kept bottled up inside are horrendous. Working on her detail was generally considered a punishment assignment. You will never meet a more mercenary and destructive public figure in your lifetime. She hates you. She hates all of you. And I remember years ago, I actually interviewed one of Hillary Clinton's Secret Service detail. And his testimony about how she would treat Secret Service agents around her and him himself completely corroborated everything Dan Bongino is stating. Now, sadly, we had to delete all of those interviews years ago during the Great Purge. However, you can still find those if you search up on BitChute. Absolutely remarkable videos. Now, Hillary Clinton's history of losing composure under questioning becomes crystal clear when you see the actual footage of her shouting match with lawmakers during that deposition. Wall Street Journal posts that Hillary Clinton and Representative Nancy Mace shouted at each other during the former Secretary of State's deposition before the House Oversight Committee. Let's take a look at this moment.
I know Howard Lutnick because when I was senator on 9/11, the firm he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnick missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping his child off to kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're going to yell
This
at
was
me?
what I spent
You're
my
going to yell at me.
time doing.
I'm a
I
survivor
spent
trying to look out for other survivors, trying to
and
keep
I
accountable.
was taking care
You
of
waited
the
6
people
months
who
to
lost
get here today.
3,000
6 months,
lives
and now you're being
at World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today.
You asked me
I have
about
met
Howard
with Epstein
Lutnick.
survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did
but
not.
Howard Lutnick was
If you
used
have
to
an
get
email
money.
with me asking Jeffrey
I
Epstein
have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to
what's the
Jeffrey
question?
Epstein and his
What's the-
people to
I
raise
don't-
money for
I don't
you
know about-
for an event, an intimate event for you at his offices
Well,
at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're
look,
going to sit
if
here
you-
today
if you would
and,
let me
and,
finish.
and obfuscate and say to this committee, you didn't try to get money from Jeffrey
I
Epstein
didn't.
when
I
there was
didn't.
an intimate event in an email that Howard Lutnick emailed to Epstein's people and Epstein to get him to come to your intimate event at Cantor Fitzgerald, a very small event. And so I'm not going to put it. You want to yell at me, that's fine, but I'll yell right back.
Well,
okay? I am looking out for
it's
survivors.
very-
I'm doing
look-
the job that you would not do and refuse to do as Secretary of State. Thank you, and I yield back to
no,
Congressman.
I'm going to finish answering the question, which I have a right to do. I am very sympathetic to your personal situation. I have read about it. I have seen you testify or speak on the floor about it. And I very much sympathize with not only what you went through, but appreciate your effort to stand up for survivors. I was a senator representing the people who were murdered on 9/11. Nobody lost more people than Howard Lutnick. You can say whatever you want. You can call him and have him appear before the committee. But I knew him as the man who lost the employees that he knew intimately, including his brother.
And he was the
So
go-between
I
between
worked-
you and
Let her
Jeffrey
finish
Epstein
her
raising
answer,
money
please.
for you.
Let her finish her answer.
You know what? If you don't want to hear what emotionally affected me, that's fine. But that's why I know Howard Lutnick. I went to the memorial service every 9/11 after the formal service was held.
I see what you're
with
doing here,
all-
and you're
with
obfuscating
all
from
of
the
his
questions. He was the
people, the
go-between
families.
between you and Jeffrey Epstein raising money for your
Well,
campaign.
you know, Howard Lutnick and I did work
Thank you. I will
together
now yield
because
to
we had a
Congressman
lot of
Weiner.
victims
Thank you.
to take care of, and we worked together to rebuild downtown Manhattan.
Fiery exchange there. The heated exchange with Mace was just part of the broader line of questioning that forced Clinton to address her connections with some very dark allegations. Let's take a look at this now. Hillary was asked if she believes Epstein was running a honeypot operation to blackmail people.
Victims have stated to this committee, both Democrats and Republicans, that during Epstein's time, during his day camp jail is what I'll call it, that he was also in active communication with Bush's CIA director. They also had stated that he had active ties to Russia, Israel, and Iran. Given your status, not just as the First Lady, but also in your secretary position, have you ever been targeted by any of these countries as a means of a foreign intelligence gathering operation? Are you aware of potential vulnerabilities?
Yeah, I was targeted by Russia in the 2016 campaign. I mean, I think that's pretty well known.
What about Israel or Iran?
I don't know about either Israel or Iran.
Okay, do you believe that Epstein was running potentially a honeypot operation with intelligence gathering operations to collect information on high-profile individuals, both Democrat and Republican, in the United States, in an effort to sway our foreign policies? Is it possible?
I have no direct knowledge, but I think it's one of the areas your committee should investigate.
Do you think it's possible?
Well, it's certainly possible. It's a tried and true technique of certain intelligence agencies.
Do you believe that he was using honeypots in an effort to...
I can't speculate. I don't know.
Can't speculate. I don't know. Typical. Bill Clinton also testifying under oath twice that Trump did nothing wrong with Epstein.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression
Looks like we've lost the audio here. Let me see if I can get that back for you in just a moment. Could just be a connectivity issue. I hate it when this happens, but we will have that resolved in just a second. And we'll get Bill Clinton's remarks right now. Let's see if we can get that for you again here.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, but since there was no follow-up question, the president never, this is 20-something years ago, said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. That's the truth. As I said earlier, the only conversation I had with President Trump about this was in the early 2000s. And I have no information that he did anything wrong. I just want it all out there. I want everybody to get it all out there and let everybody see where we are.
I want to see where we are. Continuing here with the coverage, Clinton's careful non-denial about Epstein's blackmail operation sets up the most damning question of all about what investigators allegedly found on Anthony Weiner's laptop. It was so disturbing, it made seasoned law enforcement physically ill. Hillary was asked about the folder called Life Insurance on Weiner's laptop. Sidney Powell said what's in that file is so extreme, hard investigators threw up when viewing it, and it should be handled by the military. Watch this.
So one of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted, I have no doubt, on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally throw up.
Literally throw up. That's from Sidney Powell. Now, the picture is becoming crystal clear. We're not dealing with a political disagreement here. We're witnessing the desperate thrashing of a corrupt elite class that knows the walls are closing in. President Trump's in the White House. The House Oversight Committee is finally asking the hard questions, and Hillary Clinton, the woman who thought that she would never face accountability, is being forced to answer under oath. She can invoke procedure, she can go off the record, she can shout at Congresswomen, but she can't escape the truth forever. The American people are waking up. The Epstein files are opened, and the life insurance that these elites thought would protect them may be the very evidence that brings them all down. And this is exactly why your voice matters now more than ever. The establishment media will clearly bury the story. Big tech will throttle it. The deep state will do everything possible to make sure you never hear the truth about what's on that laptop and who Jeffrey Epstein was really working for. But they can't stop us if we stand together. So share the video with everyone you know, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. And drop a comment below. Do you think that Hillary Clinton will ever face real accountability for what she's hiding? Yes or no? Let me know. And if you want to support independent journalism that refuses to back down, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. This is how we fight back, one truth at a time. I'm Gary Franchi. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.